Right, if you remember, right when I was pulling into Arcata in August, September 1st was when I was supposed to start renting in the RV park. I had a broken, cracked U-bolt on the rear end, and I was waiting for like a month in the parking lot of Cummins for them to get the right part and for to switch it out. And I had to dump my tanks, so I went over to the park to dump them, and it fell. The U-boat completely broke and it fell on the ground. I had to get a towing company that could tow this thing back over to Cummins, and they fixed it. You know, they got the right part and they fixed it. And then I went directly back to the RV park, which is like a block away, and I stayed there for 6 months. But they had run all the codes that were on my computer and everything, because I have warning lights on the dash, and they told me that I needed to replace the EGR valve, some VST valve or something, and possibly the turbo, and it was like a $10,000 estimate. So I okayed it. I brought it in, but they were going to do one thing at a time, you know, to see if it needed it. Well, they did the EGR valve, and they said it doesn't need a new turbo or that other thing, and so but I needed a new EGR cleaner. And then once I got the cleaner, I tried to leave, and I got stop engine lights. So I turned around and went back, and then they had to clean some other thing, and I don't know what it was. They had to send it out to do that, and then they put it through the computer again and tested it and said that should solve the warning light and everything. Well, so then I left Arcata, and that was let's see, that was I went there February 1st, and I didn't get to leave there until around the 15th or something like that. And anyway, hold on. And I can't. After a while, it goes black, and I can't see what it looks like if I'm framed right. Anyway, then I left that time, and I went all the way down the 5, and I had the same warning lights, you know, and then it's supposed to be, you know, when the engine's getting stressed out. But then I go over the Tehachapi Pass, which is like worse than the Cajon Pass. It's like you're going almost straight up, no warning lights or anything. Get to Arizona, okay? Get to Arizona, and the shifter for the transmission acts up so where if I go into neutral at a gas station or when I stop it won't go into drive from neutral. But I could trick it and go into reverse and then go into drive. And sometimes it worked right away. Sometimes I had to play with it for a while before I could get it to do it. But overall, I could get it to do it within a few minutes. Well, then I go to a gas station. I'm blocking 3 pumps because I'm towing a car. I'm 60 feet long. And the damn thing won't go back into drive no matter what I do for about half an hour. You know, the gas station people are kind of freaking out. When I did, I got it out of there, and that was in Bakersfield, okay? And I made it all the way to the Kofa Wildlife Refuge in Arizona, which is like south of Quartzsite, and I just missed. There was no one on the 95 at the time. It was completely black, and the turn I was going to make to the place where I was going to camp was dark. You couldn't see nothing. It was black, and it was a dirt road, right? And I passed it by a little bit, so I tried to reverse it a little bit so I could pull into it, and then it wouldn't go into drive. And when I reversed it, it pushed my tow car into the other lane, so I was blocking both lanes of the 95. Pretty soon there was highway patrol there, flashers, directing people around me in the dirt. And the damn thing will not go into drive no matter what I do for about 45 minutes. Finally it did it, and I just yelled out the window to the highway patrol, "I got it!" And then I just took off, and I went straight to Yuma to a transmission shop, where I sat until what was it, yesterday? Yesterday, and first they had to find the part. What it is it's a shift-by-wire transmission. They didn't make them electronically, but it was put in the motorhome. So the motorhome company hired Curtis Wright Engineering, who has a division of them called Aaron's, to make a motor that you switch to the shift-by-wire, and it hooks to the side of the Allison transmission and changes the gears. And then the other end of it is the shifter, which is on the dash, and then it electronically talks to each other. Okay, they replaced the motor, and then I did some reading on it. It was prone to water intrusion. A lot of RVs had them go bad and everything, and it was bad. They showed me. They replaced it, and it won't work with the dash at all. It just plug it into the same wires and everything. Won't even light up. So. And the process of getting that was a long time, and then we had to find the shifter, which was harder, the one that goes on the dash. And finally we got it yesterday. It was 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks total, and everybody was happy, and it is running really good and everything. Well, I get from Yuma to the proving grounds on the 95, and there's this big freaking kind of like a small ditch that's like a pothole, and I wasn't even going very fast when I went over it, and I didn't even know that it was that. But going back and thinking about it, and talking to people, that's what we get, is that it was that. But there must have been some kind of a stabilizer arm or something in the back of the RV that kept it from swaying. Well, not anymore, man. Right away it started to pitch from left to right. And the faster I went, the harder it pitched, to where if you got like to 55, it felt like you were going to crash. You could hardly keep it on the road. So I had to go between 35 and 45 all the way up to Quartzsite, where one RV place doesn't work on suspension. The other place that works on suspension couldn't see me until the 19th of March. And so I went all the way. I got better at driving it to where I could drive it at about 48 miles an hour and still keep control of it, but it wasn't easy. And I got it up to Lake Havasu. There's an RV place that does suspension here, but they haven't gotten back to me. I emailed them because my phone wasn't working from here, and so I'm waiting on that. But I'm camping at a 14-day free place, and I went to Walmart, stocked up on groceries, and I dumped my tanks, and I got fresh water and a full gas, and I can stay here for 14 days. And I'm gonna try to just like chill and relax and enjoy myself, because I was stuck in that transmission shop for almost 3 weeks. And then I'll go, I'll make an appointment. They can order the parts, and I'll bring it in when they're ready to put it on and get out of there. And then my brakes on the tow car today were screeching. I can tell it needs new brakes, so I'll have to bring that in and get new brakes. So I'm telling you, I bought this thing for $57,000. So far, I'm into it for about 90. Okay, and that doesn't include the tow car or any of the diesel fuel or camping. That's just repair work, because it's just one thing after the other. Diesel mechanics are very expensive. They don't like working on motorhomes. They don't even want to do it. If you can get them to do it, you're in there forever before you get the parts and the thing gets done. And it's just kind of a mess. But I'm starting to get so used to it that I'm going to try to enjoy this time for a while before before I go in and get this other stuff done. I had to go to the bank and try to get money transferred out of a CD to replenish my accounts to pay for these bills. So I was down to $53, and so and then I got a penalty for that. It hasn't gone through yet. They said 24 to 48 hours. Anyway, I'm sure it will. Yeah, all I can say is my advice is stay away from diesel pusher RVs. I could have bought 2 used regular gasoline RV like I used to have for less than the price of the repairs on this in the last month. Gives you an idea. So it's real nice and everything, and I'm showing you everything I got, but that's the kind of shit I go through, and it's hard to enjoy it like a vacation when you're constantly stressed because one thing after the other's going wrong, and then you're waiting to get it fixed, and you're stressed. You're not out there playing and having fun. You get to play and have fun very few days in between the crises. And so, but I got a good attitude. I'm taking it positive, and I'm in a beautiful place in Arizona where I got great sunrises and sunsets and everything, and it's warm, which is nice because I was cold up there in Arcata. It's still too cold in the higher elevations to go anywhere like Flagstaff or the Mogollon Rim, but all the desert lower lying places on the Colorado River and everything are perfect weather right now and everything. So